This is Radio EBM.
So that could be a long process. That could take quite a while. And I'm pretty sure you in your standardization and your essay go through a good pathway. And I'm curious, like along this pathway, along your project, were there any something unexpected happened, something like eureka moments, like, hey, this is great idea, or vice versa, maybe some lab disaster, something that happens and you're like, okay, we should not do this anytime again?
Yeah,
Something.
as all people that worked in the labs will always have this every day, you forget something. Eventually, when the method develop, eventually, especially if you deal with undergrad students or graduate students, so we always
How do you keep them concise?
Right, many surprises, and eventually you can get just consistently, but it's kind of we had many situations.
Share one, just one.
Just one. About stability, for example, okay, one is just funny situation we had just yesterday. We tried to develop one method, and one of the students, we cannot reach. I don't know, he'll not listen us. So we cannot reach sensitivity that we need. And for last several, I don't know, 7-8 months, everything that you isolated from the serum, you have enrichment step, then you need to inject as much as possible to LC colon. So always he injected like a 5%. But I said, why didn't you inject 100%? Everything, because we cannot reach sensitivity. And he told me, you told me this from beginning. And I said, okay, maybe I said, it's just one eureka moment that we realized together. But eventually we get the right sensitivities. This is why I'm happy now. It's not about, it's just because as students, they have they're learning.
Right. My very first PI in this kind of situations, when I said something, hey, you told me that to do that, and he usually responded like, I don't remember me telling this, but if I did, I changed my mind. So, and I use this sentence always, like with my students, like, I don't remember saying you this, but
right,
I changed my mind. So reverse.
That was my
eventually I was happy because eventually we reach sensitivity.
That's good.
I think that was my very first validation ever. Was, hey, yeah, do it this way. Yeah, maybe we need to do it this way. And I was like, I wish we just had one way to do this, but I get it.
Yeah, there are many ways to fix something, to solve problem.
Right. Good.
And this is, I think, important for students, educational part, like a component. They just do their own independently, get to the solution.
Yeah, cool. And speaking about the students, like if you got, I don't know how many of them you got who has never been worked with LC-MS before, but if someone will come like completely fresh and clear mind, what will be your go-to analogy or story to help them get what they do, get what you do, like to understand what are you doing there? How do you describe LC-MS, the whole process?
Most of them, the students came to our lab and they don't have any experience. So most of them, the sad bad, they're going to not choosing in the future to do the same things. Most of them just go to medical school, for example. But what I'm telling them in the beginning is you cannot fix the mass spec. It's unpredictable, it's difficult, and just don't expect like a victory tomorrow. Will be not your fault. It will be always mediocre, mediocre, and you get the results. It's just experience, they learn. Yeah, there are some questions.
I think it's just comment from Russell Grant again. The issue with protein standardization may be more complicated than we think. We know proteins are variable in vivo, but may still be functional biologically. As such, does standardization really add value for a single proteoform in the context of clinically actionable measure?
Okay. Right, that makes sense, this question. It's maybe more example that relates, I don't know, D-dimer, for example. D-dimer is so complicated, and there are even debates what really should be defined as a D-dimer. So, but for C-peptide is kind of more obvious because C-peptide have no, according to most of the studies, no biological activity, and D-dimer is just proxy, Oh, sorry, C-peptides, I said D-dimer. C-peptide is just proxy of the beta cell function. So this is why we're focusing on just this form, so we don't quantify other. But other situation can be different. Every situation is different, depend also the analytes.
Right, and Russell also follow up his question with the comment, this is also why I drink alcohol. It makes the complicated questions easier to accept where we are at.
Right.
Totally agree, Russell. Totally agree.
Annie Mordian says it is nice to see your paper and how good it works for C-peptide. I was wondering that this was another confirmation for the method that was already published by Andy Hufnagel, and you were also involved with us in the interlaboratory comparison that we did for this method.
Yeah, we did we published big paper and then any Meridian. So we eventually this is what I mean, the collaboration that we need, and well was looking. We need some labs, like we was lucky that Andy has this method, and then other the PNNL, the other labs, they have different methods, but they also have a C-peptide. And we try always to find these people who can compare to our method, and it will be and I'll say we'll be very welcome for other collaboration with other people who can do C-peptide, and we do insulin also. And Andy with Nagel also have insulin, so it's insulin. So it's the more we have comparing each other, I think it's better creating frame of the for future standardization, frame of the methods, mass spec methods that can be used, and then we'll be confident also that our method not drifting, you know.
Nice. So Google Scholar finds about 40 papers around-ish published by you. What's your most favorite, or maybe most important, the one that you value most out of all of them?
Yeah, maybe my first paper, because most of the people, but I came from different world. I came from a world of organometallic chemistry. And the reaction I found for, it's called carburetes. It's exotic molecules that doesn't exist in nature, and it was used, and the idea was during Cold War, they can be used for rockets, you know, to create some super materials. And this is why I studied in Russia for my PhD. And these molecules, I created some reaction, palladium catalyzed during my undergrad, even undergrad. That was one of my, I love it because it's my most of the difficult, because I was young and unexperienced, and just this kind of first paper.
Nice. Is it first paper with your first authorship, or is it just in general first paper?
No, it's kind of should be my first authorship, but tradition can be different country by country. And Oleg maybe knows who put the first author, who put second author, right? But I designed from beginning, from scratch to the end, everything like it.
Dustin, do you have a question? Because I have one and it's not serious.
Go ahead.
Okay, something like that I would love to be as our last maybe question, but again, if more questions would be in chat, we'll be happy to read them. I have not serious question, absolutely. So you met a genie in a bottle, and he has 3 wishes for you, but those wishes can only be used in the lab. What would you wish for?
Increase specificity, sensitivity, and reproducibility.
That's a brilliant answer. Okay, wonderful. I love it.
Only this small.
Got it.